What's good, artists? It's Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com here with another Artist Marketing 911. Artists, today we're going to talk about beef. Yes, beef. Not the beef you eat, but the beef that sometimes gets you in conflict with your peers, your label, or just folks that you do business with. Since the emergence of social media, something that we have seen online a lot is artists that just rant. They go off on their labels, they go off in songs, they release diss tracks, they do all these things not understanding that these sort of things have a domino effect when it comes to your business. Now, I understand every man handles beef a different way. Every man handles conflict a different way. Every woman handles a conflict a different way. But let me bring some things to your attention that may make you think twice about engaging in public conflict. For starters, dealing in a family situation or something that used to be family, such as a label, such as a group, family business is family business. You may even still be a part of a label. That family business is family business. It is not for the public. It's not for the public eye. It's not for the public consumption. Because what happens is when it reaches the public spins things. They throw you in a meme. They throw you in all kind of conversations. And they have no type of insight about what really went down. And from there, egos can get hurt. Prides can get hurt. And then you end up having a bigger situation than what you initially had. Also, if the issue is real, whether or not it's family or not, you're going to handle that issue offline. The benefit of handling things offline is that you get down to the nitty-gritty of what the issue really is. Is it somebody that has a legitimate problem with the way that you do business? Or is it somebody that's just looking for a fight to have? Either way, you get down to the nitty-gritty of it when you actually get to sit down with the people. Sometimes, though, it still spills over into the public and you can't control everybody. The only person that you can control is yourself. So let's talk about the different types of beef that you may be dealing with. First things first, let's talk about label issues. Now, it's not a very uncommon thing. We see this in hip hop all the time where artists have a displeasure with their label and therefore start airing out all their grievances about the way that the business is being handled. However, I don't necessarily agree with them. I feel that if it's a real business concern, there are people that you can put in place that can get your business taken care of in a more speedier way than just putting pressure on them via social media. Whether it's your lawyer, whether it's your manager, or whether it's just you going in there and trying to negotiate on your own bid. These label issues are not for public consumption. In fact, I would even argue that all these rants that are made for attention actually make you look powerless. They make you look powerless in front of the people that count the most, which are your fans. Now, if you have a label issue, say they're not putting your album out when they said they would, they're not getting back to you, your fans are your biggest priority. Get down to the nitty-gritty of why you're really angry with the label. You want to release your music. You want people to be able to hear your music. Well, you need to be engaging your fans in other ways. You need to find ways to keep your audience engaged as you try to figure out this stuff behind closed doors. If anybody asks why your project hasn't been out, you tell them that you're having some label differences, but you're getting them resolved as fast as possible so that they can get to their music. Airing your label out, though it may feel super therapeutic to get it off your chest, it's just not the most professional thing to do. And your professionalism is everything if you're going to do business. When you're doing great business, you have to expect people are always watching. Maybe your future label is watching. Maybe your future promoter is watching. Maybe your future fans are watching. And if they see you as an individual that likes to air people out, they see you as an individual that's uncontrolled and can't take care of their own business, that says a lot about you. And in the long run, that can hurt your pockets. Now, we're all here to take care of our families. We're all here to provide our own value. So keep in mind the people that count the most. When you're airing people out, you're not just saying something about them. You're saying a lot more about you and the way that you handle business. So on label situations, I would say that it's more important for you to keep your audience engaged. It's more important that you continue to produce some kind of content. Maybe it's not music. Maybe it's other things that you can do. Maybe it's speaking to them, doing Q&As. Just keep them engaged. They don't understand music politics. All they understand is they're a fan of you and they want to know why they can't get to your music. The conversation starts to tilt away from that as you start to resolve things behind closed doors. And if things don't get resolved, well, there are people in place that can make sure that these things get resolved speedily. Ranting is not the way. Artists that have beef with other artists. Now, we see this happen very often. We've seen it happen recently where you have a Meek Mill and a Drake, and there's certain ways to handle confrontation. There's certain ways to handle things just as a man, away from this business, away from music. There's certain ways to handle things that diffuse a situation quickly and that make sure that you get straight to the root of the problem. I always use this example with Ja Rule. I was a huge fan of Ja Rule. Won't even lie to you. He was killing the game. He was at the top of his game. He was doing collaborations with Mark Anthony, with J-Lo, Lil Mo, Mary J. Blige. He was doing collaborations with him. He was at the top of his game. And then some guy named 50 Cent came along. 50 Cent egged him on, he egged him on, he egged him on, and eventually he responded and it took him off his own path. I always make the argument that if Ja Rule would have continued to produce the content that he was made for, whether it was the holla hollas, I Cry, You Cry, as long as he would have continued to produce the content that he's known for and that he is valuable for, and not be distracted by this newbie that's just trying to get as much attention from him as possible, I honestly feel like he would still be a powerful force in the game now. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have engaged him. Obviously, they had a beef that was bigger than just rap beef. They had a personal beef. But I always feel like when you resolve these things, even if they're not resolvable, when you find a way to get to the root of it and keep it away from the public eye, these things get resolved a lot faster. But when you bring things to a public light, you start having to defend things that you wouldn't have had to defend before had you just kept working and doing the things that make you the most valuable. Don't get distracted. Artists are going to have issues with you. I always say this too. Local rappers having beef with each other, rap beef, is probably the most pointless shit that you could ever go through. You're not known. Nobody knows who you are. Your obscurity is the only problem. Grant Cardone always says this. Obscurity is the only problem for you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody know who both of you are. Some people may not even know what your area is and who raps out of your area. So both of your goals should not be trying to destroy each other. Both of your goals should be trying to establish your own business so you can show a representation of where you're from. If this other person is not repping it right, that's not even your problem. As long as you're repping it right, you'll have the people behind you. And the people will always choose the person that they feel best represents their area. So trust in the people, trust in the process. No matter how big these things look like on their end, don't worry about that. Beef is not the answer. And then in hip hop, we understand that the culture is built off of competition, built off the dozens, built off of battling. But understand when it's a battle of friendly competition and when it's something that can actually hinder your career forever. Now, in the NBA, you can get dunked on, be put on a poster, and be immortalized for the rest of your life. But it will not destroy your career. You may be known as that guy that got dunked on, but you're not going to get kicked off the team. In hip hop, it's a whole different landscape. One beef with the competitor that you have engaged on a level that is not your level can easily end your career, especially in the internet age now. A few hundred memes can make the whole public eye look at you a completely different way. So knowing the risk in that, make sure if you're going to engage in something like competition, friendly competition, make sure that that's your arena. If you don't battle rap or if you don't have raps that are of that stature, don't even engage that. Figure out if it's really an issue. If it's a friendly competition thing, then it's up to you whether or not you want to play one-on-one with somebody. Just make sure that you understand that you're playing one-on-one with Kevin Durant or some dude from the local park. Know the beast that you're dealing with. Now say you just got this. Say the people are like, oh, he just got you, son. What you gonna do about it? The way that I combat somebody disrespecting me or dissing me, I outwork them. The way that I combat the noise is I outwork the noise. Your work will always speak more volumes than somebody that has a grievance with you. Don't be concerned about all the noise. Handle your beefs offline. Everything is not for online consumption. People use beef like bubblegum. They just chew it, chew it, chew it. When it runs out of flavor, they throw it out. They spit it out. Outwork your competition. Outwork your naysayers. Make it to the point where the people that hate you the most or ridicule you the most, they become your biggest fans. Look, life is short. You don't have to be friends with everybody. But this is your business. This is your career. And you're supporting yourself and your family off of that. Do not risk it all for some petty beef, especially not for some local beef. This has been another Artist Marketing 911, Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com. And now, a word from our sponsors.
What's good, artists? It's Curtis King, and I basically wanted to take this end portion to bring to your attention a new service that I'm providing. I just launched this week one-on-one artist and producer marketing and consultation. So basically, I'll sit with you one-on-one and answer all of your questions. Any questions that you have for me as an artist or producer, I can basically sit with you and we can formulate a plan together. I want to see you reach all of your goals, and I want to make sure that to offer you as much of my 12-year plus experience as I can to help you down your road. If you have any questions, visit curtisking.com, not Curtis King Beats. Visit curtisking.com and book a session now. Nobody understands an artist like an artist, and nobody understands a producer like a producer.